Good morning. This is Caitlin at the Creation Museum Petting Zoo. We're here today with Leanne, the Petting Zoo supervisor, and we're looking at some of the animals today and how fast they can go, their top speeds, as they're getting a little exercise in honor of the upcoming 8th annual Raptor Run at the Creation Museum. It's on October 15th. We'd love to see you there as well. So we're just kind of working with some of the animals today and seeing how they move and how fast they can go. You can sign up at creationmuseum.org. Just do a search for Raptor Run on our website, and that's how you can register and find out more information about the Raptor Run. Again, it's on October 15th in the morning at 8 a.m., and when you register, you'll also receive a t-shirt at the race, a really cool t-shirt, and a goodie bag, as well as a voucher to the Creation Museum, a voucher for admission to the Creation Museum, which is a really nice perk. So this is Ella getting her exercise this morning. Yeah. You can still get your exercise with walking too. You can walk at the Raptor Run if you need to. Walk or run. Yeah. Leanne says Ella might need to walk the 5K this year. The Raptor Run course is set on streets around the Creation Museum, so when you're running, you'll leave the Creation Museum grounds and then return to them. And they will have light refreshments before and after the race. She sure is cute. Yeah. So if you come to the Raptor Run and get your voucher to the Creation Museum, you can see the museum and come out to the petting zoo and meet Ella in person and a lot of the other animals that we have too. There are different age categories for the race, and prizes will be awarded to the top male and female finishers. So that's fun. Well, she was going for a little while.
She's not quite cooperating this morning. But this is Ella. She is our miniature donkey, also known as a Mediterranean donkey. She was actually born here at the Creation Museum Zoo. So she's been here since she was a baby. Oh, I know you hear goats and sheep coming. So she's 8 years old this year. We actually do cart rides with Ella, so she's trained to pull a cart. So we use that as a form of exercise for her. So a lot of times when we're out in the cart, we'll get her to trot. So you might see us, especially now that it's getting cooler here at the Creation Museum, you might see one of our staff members out driving her around the gardens and the grounds during the mornings. She put on a little bit of weight this summer. We call it her 40 days and 40 nights weight. Since she's so cute and adorable, everybody loves to feed her and give her treats. So right now we're working on getting her slimmed down a little bit. So she is doing quite a bit of running and exercising. As I said, I don't think she's quite ready for a 5K yet. Said if she was, she'd probably have to do some walking.
Yeah, me too, Ella.
So donkeys can run up to 30 miles an hour for very short distances. These guys are much more an animal that's going to go long distances kind of slowly, which is definitely the case with her. She doesn't really like to sustain long periods of trotting or even gallop. I've never actually seen her gallop. So they tend to go slower, but tend to be good at going long distances. I don't have any treats in that pocket, sweetie. And then horses, of course, we've been breeding for, racing and that sort of thing. So horses can, since they're built, they've got longer legs, they're kind of just built for more speed. They can run anywhere from 40 to 55 miles an hour. The record is 55 miles an hour. That's the fastest a horse has ever been documented as running. And then the zebra, which we have a Zorse and a Zonkey here, Zoe and Cletus. Zoe is our Zorse. She's half zebra, half horse, and Cletus, our Zonkey, is half zebra, half donkey. So zebras can run up to 40 miles an hour, which doesn't seem all that fast, especially when you compare them to the cheetah. Cheetahs, the maximum speed of a cheetah is about 75 miles per hour. But over short distances, zebras are able to outrun a lot of animals that would try to eat them. So our Zorson donkey, I'm not quite sure how fast they can go. We haven't kind of gotten them out in a really wide open space. Our turnout field is about 2 acres long, so that's really not enough room for them to like all out run. But they are pretty fast. I would say probably a little bit slower than a horse, but definitely faster than a donkey. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call my zookeepers, and we are going to go up on the hill here, and we are going to have a goat and sheep race. We're going to bring the goats and sheep out, and we're going to see if they'll chase our zookeepers around the camel ride track. So we'll take Ella up here with us. She can watch the race. She'll enjoy that. Okay, guys, go ahead and bring them up and start racing. Let's hope they have them all still mostly contained. So we have here at the Creation Museum, we have 4 sheep. We have a Jacob sheep, and we have a Shetland sheep, and we have 2 Katahdin hair sheep. And then right now, we have 5 goats. So we have 3 pygmy goats, Peter, Edmund, and Tumnus, that have been kind of the stars of our Facebook page lately. And then we have Floppet and Ike, who are our Nigerian dwarf goats. So Nigerian dwarf and pygmy goats, they're both smaller, what we call dwarf breeds, which are great, to have around kids because they're a little bit smaller, so they're not quite as intimidating, not quite as dangerous, to knock a kid over or that sort of thing. So one of the fun things we do is when we'll let our goats and sheep up here to graze. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll run laps around the track with them because they get really excited when they get up here. So they'll chase us, they'll kind of follow us around. So it's a good form of exercise for them, and we just have fun doing it. So our goats and sheep would probably do pretty well on the Raptor Run. I think we might probably lose a couple along the way because they would get distracted by things. They'd probably be in a tree somewhere eating something. The sheep would probably find a nice patch of grass and decide, oh, I want to eat that. So, okay, here comes Alvin. There's Alvin and Theodore. They're the hair sheep. They might jump up here. We'll see. Yep, here comes Theodore.
Look at that face.
Oh, here comes Alvin. Okay, let's see. Okay, Tim. How about it?
There they go. Oh. Hello, everyone.
Like, oh, hi, there's people up here.
They like to climb on the alligator.
Oh, they love that. Crocodile is one of their favorite things in the world. They'll come up here and stand on top of its head. They'll just be adorable with it.
Come over here.
Yeah. So, let's see if Tim can get the little guys running. They may not.
Look here.
Oh, I could doodle. They believe in using all our signs to reach other things.
So if you're just joining us, we're here at the Creation Museum Petting Zoo today, playing with the goats and some other animals in honor of the upcoming Raptor Run at the Creation Museum, October 15th. It's our annual 5K.
Edmund's doing little short laps here. We'll see. We'll see if we can. Yeah, get it. We'll see if we can get him moving here. Here, Heather, do you want to take her back over for me? Okay, I'm gonna go down and try to see if we can get some of these guys. Oh, there we go. We got some sheep running here.
Whoa!
Okay, don't wipe out.
Wow.
Come on, guys. Come on.
Ready, Edmund? Edmund.
Oh. Sounds like me after I ran the Raptor Run last year. So as we mentioned before, the petting zoo is included with your general admission to the Creation Museum. When you register for the Raptor Run, you will receive a voucher for admission to the museum, which means you can run the race and then come check out the petting zoo animals in person afterwards.
Guys, go and run. They say, oh, but there's grass. So why do we want to go and run if there's grass? So normally when we let them up here, they'll run a couple laps around and then start grazing. Today apparently we're just not cooperating. Oh, there we go. Theodore says, maybe I'll run.
They were going a little bit. It's funny to watch them.
They're a ball when they get going and running, especially the sheep. When they get really excited and they start running, they'll kind of stomp their hooves. They almost bounce. So watching sheep run is awesome because they're like boinging. They're kind of going up and down all around. As I said, they're kind of distracted by the food up here. But yeah, normally when they come up here, they're kind of they'll be bouncing and running all over the place. Just having fun, playing with each other, having a good old time. Some of the bigger sheep kind of like to chase the goats around. They'll kind of start almost hurting the goats. It's kind of cute because they all get along really well, but there's definitely group leaders. Thumbelina, she's the one over there with the horn. She's the Jacob sheep. She's definitely the not again, flop it. She's definitely the leader of the group, so wherever she goes, pretty much everybody else will follow her, goat or sheep. And then of the goats, Floppet and Ike I guess they would most likely be the leaders. They kind of take turns leading the goats.
What kind of determines that? Is it like age or personality?
A lot of it's personality. We have, even these little guys kind of vie for, I want to be top dog sometimes. But yeah, a lot of it's personality. So one that has maybe a little bit more aggressive or pushy of an attitude is kind of the ones that kind of take the lead of the herd. So these guys are herd animals. So you wouldn't ever want to just have one goat or one sheep. These guys live in herds. Because they are an animal that can get eaten by other animals, so they're safe. There's always safety in numbers, so that's why they really need a buddy, just to be friends with, and they feel a lot safer that way. So that's why every time we get if we add new baby goats or lambs to our herd, we always get more than one at a time. So they have a buddy that's their age. It's going to be about their size. So of course, Peter, Edmund, and Tumnus were our recent additions. So yeah, they're pretty close. We're trying to get them to where we can separate them out and they not be too upset about it, but that's still a work in progress. They're very much kind of attached to each other. So yeah, these guys are a ball to watch. As I said, normally they're like bouncing all over the place up here. I don't know if it's because there's so many people up here. They're kind of like, oh, well, we're just gonna kind of hang out with you guys and see what's going on. But yeah, especially the little guys, they tend to bounce all over the place. So as I said, I guess this morning nobody wants to quite cooperate so far this morning, which is okay. So if anybody has any questions about the goats and sheep, we can answer those. If not, we'll move over to camels and see if we can get them to come out of the barn for some lettuce. We have them, so every morning when we do our morning feed, we have stalls designed for our Zorse and Zonky and for our camels. So they get their grain and some hay inside, and then we actually lock them in there, so that way we can safely clean and maintain their enclosures. So it keeps them safe and it keeps us safe because they're not getting in the way or getting in any trouble getting cleaning implements and such. So we have our camels still. We just finished cleaning their exhibit for the day. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk over kind of the upper end of the pen, and then I'm gonna have one of my keepers go in and let them out. And we're gonna have some lettuce up here, so we'll see if they'll kind of come at least trot over to us and say hi, so you can kind of get a feel for how camels run, which is it's quite different than goats and sheep and Ella earlier. It's kind of it's a different gait. So hopefully you guys will get to see that today. We'll kind of demonstrate that. So Tim, do you want to go over and then wait for me to tell you to let them out?
Feel free to send in any questions you have for Leanne through the comments. We'll be happy to answer those or try to today.
We'll try to answer them.
Yeah, we'll try to, and we hope you will come out to the Raptor Run on October 15th.
Yeah, and then come out and visit the zoo.
Yep.
Okay, we'll head over to camels. Ike, stay out of the way. Watch, as soon as we leave, they decide, oh, we're going to take off now. We might have to stick our heads back over the fence and catch them sprinting.
For more information about the Raptor Run and to register, you can go to our website, creationmuseum.org, just do a search for Raptor Run, and then after the live stream is over today, we'll have the link in the description and we'll put it in the comments too for you. And again, when you register, you come to the race, you will receive a really cool t-shirt and a goodie bag and a voucher for admission to the museum. Are we stopping here? Just talking away.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Okay, so I'm going to kind of just pick some of this lettuce up, and we'll see if we can... Hey, Gomer! See if we can get his attention. He may just kind of amble out. It's the other one that will probably run. So here comes Gomer. Gomer! Gomer! Come on, Gomer! Come here! He doesn't worry too much about life. He takes things nice and slow. Come here, Gomer! He's like, why are all these people up there? Here, take some down and see if you can get him. Because if CJ sees him take off, CJ will be more likely to come running out. Gomer says, I am very suspicious of this. Come on, Gomer. He's like, oh, there's food. Okay, well. He's keeping an eye on the goats and sheep. Apparently lettuce is scary today. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. All of our animals are just behaving weirdly today. I don't know what's going on. So if you come and visit the Creation Museum Zoo, one of the cool things we do, usually almost every day, not every day, but we actually do camel encounters where we will have lettuce or other veggies out, have them cut up, or have leaves of lettuce available for kids and adults alike to feed the camels. And of course, there's also a zookeeper there handing out the lettuce. So if you have any questions, you can ask them questions about the camels. Just learn a little bit more about these guys because they really are fascinating creatures that are just designed to live in the desert. So just have a lot of really cool design features that point to a creator. So they're one of my favorites to talk about out here, just because they are such unique and interesting animals. Okay, Tim, go ahead. Okay, CJ is our runner / flailer of the two. We call it camel flails. Okay, he's got to go over and check, make sure Gomer ate all his breakfast. This is how it goes every morning. Camels never cooperate when you want them to.
We have a question from Lindsay. She asked, where is this place located? The Creation Museum is located in Petersburg, Kentucky.
If Tim can convince CJ to come out of the barn, that would be great. He's like, oh, I don't want to be on camera this morning. So in camels, I'll just kind of explain how camels run and move. So when a horse moves, and a lot of other hoof stock, so animals with hooves, they move diagonal feet when they walk or run. So they're moving a left foot and a right foot. So kind of so back, right, front, left, and then reverse. When a camel runs, camels actually move both their right feet and then both their left feet. So you get a little bit more of a swaying motion. And so when they run, they kind of almost kick their feet out. So they kind of look like they're bouncing almost when they're running. Now, people do race camels. Camel racing is a big thing in the Middle East and Asia. And it's also becoming kind of a big thing in Australia as well. So there's a population of feral camels in Australia that were introduced when they were building the railroad and a lot of roads across the outback. So after they got done construction, they just let the camels loose. So now Australia has to manage a very large feral camel herd. So actually a lot of people in Australia will keep camels, just like we would keep horses here in the States. Camels are even becoming more popular as pets here in the United States as well, just like people will keep horses. They're really cool. They're really cool animals. The husbandry or the care of them is a little bit different than a horse, but in a lot of ways it's a lot easier. So these guys don't have a hoof; they have a foot. So all that you have to do as far as foot care on them is to trim their nails. They've got 2 nails on each foot, but it's a lot less stressful than taking care of a hoof, having to get a farrier out to trim, that sort of thing. So our camel feet here, it's really easy to take care of them. Really, the only thing you have to worry about with their feet is really wet conditions, because camels obviously are designed to live in dry areas. So if we have a lot of moisture, we do have to worry about possible foot fungus, that sort of thing going on. But other than that, their feet are very low maintenance. In general, they're just a really easy animal to care for. They eat less than a horse does. These guys get Timothy hay, but between the two of them, they don't even go through a half a bale of Timothy hay a day. So that's about 25 pounds of hay a day versus our zebroids, which easily can go through a full bale, which can be anywhere from 50 to 60 pounds of hay a day. So they're really easy to care for, which is why some people like them better than horses, because they can be a lot easier to take care of than horses. These guys are also very intelligent animals. Both Gomer and CJ, they've picked up anything we tried to teach them or train them very easily. We actually trained CJ to do rides here. So it took us about 2 weeks to train him to wear a saddle and carry riders on his back. Wow. Gomer went to camel school in Georgia. So there are a couple places that do training clinics and those sort of things to train camels. So he's a camel ride school graduate. But that was when we first got camels, so we were still learning a lot about them. So CJ, he was our first that we trained on site here. So hopefully down the road, if we get any more camels, we'll be able to train them here. So I think these guys are just confused this morning. They're not quite sure what's going on. They're like, they're not quite sure what exactly is up. Yeah. Gomer says, I don't know. This might be a trap. There might be medicine. So camels are really large animals, but these guys can be really big babies when it comes to having to take medicine. And because they can spit, which is actually, so these guys are ruminants just like cattle and sheep are, so they chew their cud. So when you hear people talking about a camel spitting or a llama or alpaca spitting, it's actually that cud that they're spitting out of their mouth. So that means it can be fun to get certain oral medicines down them because they can spit it back out in your face. So we have to come up with solutions trying to hide it in sweet things or just random things when we have to give them medicine. So this is kind of Gomer's, I think you might be trying to give me medicine face. He's being very suspicious. He's like, there's all these people up here and I don't know what's going on. Here, CJ, maybe CJ will coming out. Let me get some more lettuce. CJ! CJ, come on! Come on! Come here! CJ! He's like, I'm not running today. Come on, CJ. CJ's not worried about eating medicine, obviously. He's always more than willing to, come and say hi to people. So if you are ever visiting the petting zoo, a good way to tell these camels apart is their coats. So CJ here has a really curly style coat, where Gomer's is a lot straighter. Gomer's beard, so right under here we call that their beard, in the winter is a lot darker than CJ's is. So those are some good ways to tell them apart. CJ here is our walker. So he likes to use his whole exhibit space. So a lot of times you'll see him walking around, just investigating stuff. He's also our, I might get into trouble, camel. So, whereas Gomer tends to a lot of times what he will do is sit himself down over by our guest area, just out of reach. So you can't really touch him, but he's right there, so you can get great pictures of him. That's his favorite spot, is to just kind of lay down in front of the guest area and just hang out there. But if they would have run for us today, a camel can run 30 to 40 miles an hour is pretty typical for camel top speeds. Now, I'm not sure, this guy could probably get that if we did some training with him, did some endurance training, just like people need to train and work up to fitness levels. It's the same with animals, so I wouldn't ask one of these camels to go out and try to run 30 miles per hour, just because that's not what they do. That's not their job. Their job is to, walk, give kids camel rides, and just hang out here with our guests. So if we were going to ask him to, say, race, we would have to do a lot of training to build him up to that 30 miles per hour. I will say this guy can, when he gets going, he can go pretty fast. It's also kind of scary watching a camel run, because as I said, they kick their legs out, so they're bouncing, and they don't have really good brakes once they get running. So you're always like, there's a fence there, watch out for the fence. But they are really cool animals. Of course, that fast speed, in the desert, they're only going to sustain it for short periods of time, because that's, of course, going to use up a lot of energy. But it definitely is useful for them getting away from animals that might be trying to eat them. Right, CJ? He's like, oh, you got a bag of lettuce? I'm just gonna hang out here. Okay, well, we'll go down to the wallabies now and see if maybe we can get them to do a little bit of hopping for us, kind of show off how fast they can go. So wallabies can hop up to about 30 miles an hour, give or take. Now our guys, given the size of their enclosure and the shape of it, I've got a buddy here. They're never going to reach those speeds. But in the wild, that comes in handy when they're trying to get away from dingoes or other things that might... Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow.
There you go. There's a short burst of camel speed.
It was worth the wait.
We might have to walk away. Maybe then they'll start running. So Gomer's definitely the slower of the two. It's nice and cool this morning, so hopefully our wallabies will be a little bit more active. This is a great time of year to come out and see our wallabies. Since it's a little bit cooler, they tend to be active longer throughout the day. These guys are normally active in the morning and then again in the evening, whereas if the day stays cooler, they tend to be active longer in the morning and then get active earlier on in the afternoon. Okay, this is Skippy right here. He'll probably come over and say hi to us. So he's not usually like the fastest hopper. He'll probably just kind of meander his way over here to see us. I'll go, yep, scratching. Got to scratch. Yep, here he comes. So,
Hello.
These guys with their long tails and those back legs, they can clear quite a lot of distance in just one bound, which works to their advantage when it comes to conserving energy and also getting away from something quickly. He's checking out to see if you've got food for him. You want some lettuce? So they have a lot of tendons in their hind legs. So they act between the tendons and the tail. It's almost like they're springing. It's not quite the same thing, but we could equate it to, we can use the spring as an example of kind of how their back legs work. So as I said, these guys can go hop about up to 30 miles per hour, whereas kangaroos can hop up into the 40 mile per hour range pretty easily. So we have 4 red kangaroos down at Ark Encounter at the Ararat Ridge Zoo. So they should also be getting a little bit more active as it has started to cool off. So if you guys visit here in Ark, you'll have to check out the wallabies here and then also the red kangaroos down at Ark Encounter. I'm going to go over and see if I can get Bandit to do a little bit of hopping. Sorry, not running, it's hopping for us. So Skippy here was hand raised, so he is very calm. He's completely fine being around people. Bandit was also hand raised. He was just more of a hands off. So a lot of times he'll kind of hop away if he's not feeling like interacting with us right away. So I'm going to see if I can maybe get him to just kind of hop over around this way for us really quick. Good boy, Bandit. Good job. So there's kind of a taste of kangaroo wallaby hopping. So here at the Creation Museum, our grounds department is already starting to get our lights up for our Christmas Town event in December. And our wallabies here aren't the biggest fans of our grounds department. They kind of consider this whole hillside their turf. So when our grounds department comes and starts putting lights out here on the hillside, they will actually hop laps in here, kind of letting the grounds department know, hey, this is our space. Why are you in our space? So if you're here on one of the days when they're putting lights up out on this hillside here, you might actually get to see them like all out hopping.
That's funny.
Yeah. They consider this their turf, so invasion of their space they don't like. If it's a zookeeper, it's fine, but if it's one of our horticulture grounds department guys, they're like, no, we don't like this. But for the most part, these guys are going to be pretty chill, easygoing, since they are an herbivore, so they do spend a lot of their day or their mornings and evenings grazing, eating vegetation. So usually mid part of the day, they're going to be resting and just conserving energy. So don't expect them to necessarily be hopping every time you come and visit them. A lot of times they'll be kind of lounging around in the shade. Skippy here is really great with, a lot of times he'll be kind of close enough to the fence where you can get good pictures of him and maybe even reach through the fence and pet him a little bit. But he's not necessarily, as I said, they're not necessarily going to be like running around if you come out and visit them. So yeah. That's kind of a taste of some of our animal speeds out here. Wish our animals had been a little bit more cooperative for us this morning, but that's fine.
That's okay. It was fun. We got to see him moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So we hope to see you at the Raptor Run, our 5K, on October 15th. You can register online. Just go to creationmuseum.org. Just do a search for Raptor Run. We'll also put the link in the description of the live video here after it's ended and in the comments so you can find it that way. So it's for all ages. You can walk or run. Just come have a great time. You'll receive a t-shirt and a goodie bag with your registration or your ticket and a voucher for admission to the Creation Museum so you can come out and see the petting zoo and meet the animals here. So we hope to see you then October 15th at the annual 5K Raptor Run.